You have learnt about many shapes. You know how each shape looks like. You should also know the name of each shape. A sphere looks like this. This shape is called a cylinder. See it carefully. Look for two shapes that form a cylinder. Can you see a rectangle and two circles at its two ends? A cube looks like this. You can keep two squares one above the other and join the corners to get a cube. Isn't it easy? A cone looks like this. What two shapes can you see in this? Correct. A triangle and a circle. And this shape is called cuboid. You can make a cuboid by keeping two rectangles, one above the other, and joining the corners. This looks somewhat similar to a cube. Isn't it? Let us see if we can recollect the names of these shapes. What is the name of this shape? You are correct. It is a cone. How does a sphere look like? Yes, a sphere looks like this. Help Mittu and Torto to answer the questions on shapes and their names. You know about the shapes of these objects. When you push these objects, they move in a particular way because of the shape they are in. Imagine that you are pushing a ball to your friend. How does the ball move? It rolls, isn't it? But if you push a book, does it roll? No, it slides. But why does a ball roll and a book slide? It is because they are in different shapes and have different outlines. A ball is in a sphere shape, which has no corners. It rolls smoothly. But a book is in a rectangle shape. It has 4 corners. These corners do not let the book to roll. Instead, the book slides. There are few objects such as coins that can both roll and slide. Can you think of any other object that can roll as well as slide? To find the outline of an object, keep it on a paper and move your pencil along its borders. See how we can find the shape of this brick. We see that the outline of a brick is a rectangle. How many faces does the brick have? Six. The cuboid has 6 faces and 8 corners. How many faces does the die have? The die is a cube and this also has 6 faces and 8 corners. Can you say how many faces a ball has? That's right. A ball does not have any face or corner. Now, look at this cylinder. How many faces and corners does it have? The cylinder has 2 faces but no corners. These shapes can roll and at times can slide too. Which of these objects roll? Which of these objects slide? Now let's see if we can look at all these together. We can now say that rounded objects roll and flat-sided objects slide. Help Mittu and Torto answer these questions.
In this module, you will learn about flat shapes like square, rectangle, circle, triangle, and their properties. Look at the showcase. We can observe a few figures formed with straight lines. These parts of the showcase are in the shape of a square and a rectangle. A square shape can also be obtained by tracing. Let us take a box in the shape of a cube and trace one of its faces on a sheet of paper. We find that the shape drawn is a square. We can make a square using 4 pencils. Take 4 pencils and form a square as shown. Now, let us learn some properties of a square. The figure is a square A, B, C, D. A, B, C, and D are the corners of the square. AB, BC, CD, and DA are the sides of the square. The line joining the opposite corners of a square is called the diagonal of a square. AC and BD are the lines joining the opposite corners A, C and B, D respectively. So AC and BD are the diagonals of the square ABCD. You can notice that all sides of a square are equal in length, that is, AB, BC, CD, and DA are equal in length. Also, the diagonals of a square are equal in length, that is, AC and BD are equal. So, a square has 4 sides, 4 corners, and 2 diagonals. Similarly, a rectangle is obtained by tracing an object in the shape of a cuboid. Take an object in the shape of a cuboid and trace one of its faces on a sheet of paper. We observe that the figure drawn is a rectangle. We can also form a rectangle using 6 pencils as shown. Now, let us learn some properties of a rectangle. The figure shown is a rectangle P, Q, R, S. P, Q, R, and S are the corners of the rectangle. PQ, QR, RS, and SP are the sides of the rectangle. We can observe that the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. That is, PQ and RS are equal. Similarly, QR and SP are equal. PR and QS are the lines joining the opposite vertices P, R, and S, Q respectively. They are the diagonals of the rectangle. Similar to a square, the diagonals of a rectangle are equal. So, the diagonals PR and QS are equal. Let us now take an object in the shape of a cylinder and trace its flat face on a sheet of paper. We observe that a round-shaped flat shape is obtained and it is called a circle. We can notice that a circle has no sides and no corners. Let us now trace the outline of a birthday cap. Place the cap with its curved face on a sheet of paper and trace it. What do we get? We get a 3-sided flat shape called a triangle. The properties of a triangle are: it has 3 sides, it has 3 corners and no diagonals. Thus, we can trace the faces of the objects in the shape of solids and obtain flat shapes.
Shapes are made of lines. We can find the outlines of a shape only if we draw a line around it. A line is formed when two dots are joined. These dots should be away from each other. A line can look straight or curved. Look at this line. How do your eyes move? Straight. So, this is a straight line. Look at this line. How do your eyes move? Up and down smoothly along with the line. So, this is a curved line. A curved line does not have sharp edges. So, a line like this is not a curved line. We can say that it is a line made with three straight lines. Which lines are straight here? How do you draw a straight line? Simple. Join all these dots starting from the first dot. The line runs across all the dots. How do you draw a straight line? Simple. Join all these dots starting from the first dot. The line runs across all the dots. How do you draw a curved line? Simple. Join all these dots starting from the first dot. These are few shapes that are formed with straight lines. These are few shapes that are formed with curved lines. These are few more shapes that are formed with curved lines. Tulip wants to design her mother's sari. Help her to choose the designs. You have learnt about straight and curved lines. You should also know that there are different types of straight lines. The types of straight lines are sleeping line, standing line, and slanting line. You can draw a sleeping line when you join the dots that are horizontally placed like these. You can draw a standing line when you join the dots that are vertically placed like these. You can draw a slanting line when you join the dots that are diagonally placed like these. In a given shape, you can place any of these straight lines and change the original shape. Isn't that interesting? What do you see now? A square. Let us draw a standing line at the center of the square. Look carefully. What image do you see now? Two rectangles. Draw a standing line to make two triangles. Very good. Draw a slanting line to complete this triangle. Very good. You can make any kind of shape from a given shape. But you should choose the starting and ending point of the lines carefully. Can you make two rectangles like this? No, you cannot. So, how can you get two rectangles from the square? Yes, that's right. Tulip wants to learn more about lines to print a new design. Help her.
In this module, you will learn about the shadows of objects.